All right, we are back. Janine has fixed the situation. Everything is fine. No one has vanished.
What did it? What solved it? Maybe that'll help us.
Unplugging and plugging back in a USB hub.
It's always the case. You got to unplug it and replug it in. It's always the case.
Yep.
The concern should try that, honestly. Where were we? Janine, you were about to draw a card.
I drew the Knight of Wands. Another fucking wand.
Another wand. Knight of Wands. This has some bold color, bold fonts in this thing. A researcher has an extremely dangerous but rewarding plan. Advance all projects, then take 2 anomalous actions. Take another action as normal. Or a research plan is scrapped for being too dangerous. Advance no projects and don't take an action. We don't have any projects going. Is the problem here?
Yeah.
But listen.
You know I'm not going to resist taking 2 anomalous actions.
I know.
It's so good. Okay. And what are the anomalous actions happening in like response to the dangerous but rewarding plan? Like, what's the? Or is it?
That's a good
What's
question.
the causational relationship there?
Maybe it's about like discovering new things that are happening.
Or specifically putting something in the path of the anomaly.
Right. Could be that.
Like figuring out figuring out a trigger of it.
Yeah. Because this is the kind of thing where like reading this description, I would in quieter language think that this was a card that starts a project and then maybe like fast forwards the project. But instead, you're advancing existing projects and then taking anomalous actions. So this seems more like a thing that's...
Well, maybe one of the things to note is that projects don't have to be concern projects. Projects could have been the project of the anomaly. It could be anomaly projects,
true,
right?
But I mean, in terms of a dangerous but rewarding plan,
right?
I totally forgot about that. I'm so glad that you
said it out loud right before your turn. Yeah,
yeah.
The community can also take projects, by the way. So all sorts of things can happen here. Anyway,
right, and that's part of like how to end the game is that the community is like, fuck these investigators.
Yeah, that totally could be the way we end. We'll see. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so extremely dangerous but rewarding plan. I think that Agent Tinker has the idea that I just realized the thing I was going to suggest is a thing that kind of already happened.
Is it something that like could benefit from being dialed way up?
I don't know. I think okay. You know what? I've been thinking about this wrong. I've been thinking about this in the Janine way of thinking about it, which is like solving a problem. I'm going to think about it in the like people who are increasingly nervous and don't know what to do and are maybe losing sight of their professional training.
Yeah.
I think Agent Tinker lights something on fire.
Hell yeah.
What
do they light on fire?
Like arson style, or
it's a not a park, but like it's a fairground. Like the thing that's going to happen is a garbage can gets lit on fire because someone puts their cigarette out in it or something. Like that's the thing that happens sometimes, kind of. So I think that they light a garbage can on fire, and what they're trying to do is trying to see like if there's a danger. Since if you try and look at the park as a thing that has motivations, a lot of it seems to be about making people happy and comfortable and having a good time, and everyone stay here forever and have fun. So what happens if there is like a legitimate material danger, not an existential vague danger?
Yeah,
and that would be a fire.
Yeah, good plan.
And
2 anomalous actions.
Exactly. That gives me room for my 2 anomalous actions in response to this fire, vaguely. So I think the first thing that happens is that I think Tinker, when they lit this fire, they deliberately picked a garbage can that like had a lot of like greasy fried food wrappers and stuff in it, and they checked it out first. Like they wanted to know what they were setting on fire. That's a reasonable thing to do if you're an agent who is setting a fire in a amusement park. But the thing that happens like very quickly is that garbage can just ends up being full of fireworks.
Oh my god.
Which sounds it seems more dangerous.
Yeah.
But this is a place where things work out in a way that is unsettling but still kind of fun.
Mhm.
You're still kind of having a good time. And the fireworks they go off the way fireworks should. The garbage can does not make it out.
Uh-huh.
But when people see fireworks going off, they're going to back up. They're going to give it some space, and they look up, and it's a nice show, and everyone, it's a fun time. Tinker's not happy about it,
I
but
bet.
everyone else just thinks it's a thing that's supposed to happen.
I've written down a garbage can fire turns into an evening fireworks show.
It's the regular every Saturday at 6:48 p.m.
Yeah.
They have their regularly scheduled fireworks show, and it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that happens, the other anomalous action, Tinker returns to the dark ride in defeat and frustration at being foiled, at their clever plan, or what they thought was a clever plan, being so easily warped. They go in what they think is the entrance to the closed off portion of the dark ride. But it's not like that. That door is just painted on. Like it's supposed to be a door that you can open and go through. And now it is a Wile E. Coyote style painted on door. There is nothing to grab. So they just start wandering through the dark ride, like walking along the track.
So it's no longer a dark ride HQ?
I don't know.
Or the door to the HQ has turned into a cartoon, I
think my intention here is specifically for Tinker. This space is being denied them.
Okay. Tinker is,
and this is
thing,
this is the scene of like the camera follows them just walking into the darkness, and then fade out and then cut in on someone else. It's that kind of thing.
Yeah. So is now in the dark ride, having had the door not lead into the HQ. Okay, cool. Great. You love to see it. Everything going great here. All right, Keith. Oh wait, you still get no.
Oh.
Sorry, Janine still gets action at this point.
I do.
That was the Knight of Wands, right?
Yes.
So what are your things? Start a project, hold a meeting, or the Wands action? Add a fact about something.
Okay. I'm going to add a fact about Maria Carvajal.
Okay.
And is a fact that becomes clear when the fireworks start going off. After the fireworks show, Maria has someone comes in and replaces Maria at the stand that she was working at. And then Maria is found going from, or not is found, but like this is a fact about Maria that is just existent. The thing that Maria is doing is going from garbage can to garbage can, around the area.
Attending to garbage cans.
Yes. So previously Maria was working the rides and the booths. And now Maria is specifically concerned with the garbage cans.
Okay. Done. Updated. Cool. All right, Keith, now it is your turn.
Hello.
Draw yourself a
Okay.
card.
Draw a card. I just tried to draw the card from YouTube screen.
Not gonna do it.
No, it didn't work.
Someday,
which is
maybe.
Fine. Page of Pentacles.
Wait, where is it? Oh, there it is. It's up there. Okay, page. Look at this. Look at this motherfucker.
Oh man, that kid took your pentacles specifically.
Yeah.
He's not gonna get it back.
All right.
Medieval Snape over here.
Page of Pentacles. How populated is the area? Does this pose a problem in any way? What is the wildlife in the area like? How are they affected by the anomaly?
Oh my god. Okay, well I know. Tell me if this doesn't count.
Huh?
No, it counts. I figured out how to make it count very easily. So, people are trying to get out, and the anomaly reflexively is not into that. And so the a more intense, seemingly active campaign to keep people in the park starts.
Okay.
And one of the ways that it starts is to figure out how to replicate for people their needs outside of the park. And so people have pets. And so foxes and coyotes and squirrels are now inside the park and basically acting as house pets for people.
Very friendly. Oh.
A
Can I
moose,
propose
bears.
something?
Yeah.
You know those invisible dog leashes
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
that you can get at all the. I had a fixation with those when I was a kid. I wanted one more. Than
I
wanted
I
anything
also
in
did,
my
yeah.
entire fucking life. Oh my god.
Uh-huh.
What if it's like a thing of like when you buy an invisible dog leash, it's like the anomaly sees that as tacit permission to assign you a pet.
Let's just give you a pet.
Yeah.
Nice.
Or here's another one. You ever go to like the toy aisle at a CVS and there's like the ferret on a ball, like a
Yeah.
gyrating ball, and it's like
Yeah.
this weird thing.
Or those
Uh-huh.
little worms,
And-
on the
yeah.
string.
Yeah.
I bought one of those and now I have a river otter here.
Right. Uh-huh. So that is like invisible leash. Buying invisible leash, ferret on a ball, etc. But also can also be things like looking at a photo of your dog. Like
Right,
anything,
yeah.
what I've written here is local wildlife begins to act friendly, trying to take the place of pets for those who take any action that the fair sees as permission. Buying invisible leash / ferret on a ball, etc. Looking at a photo
It's
of
interpreting
pet.
desire.
Yeah, exactly. Looking at a photo of a pet, etc. Okay, great.
Okay. So now I can. What is my pentacle action?
Pentacle action is introduce a character, or again start a project or a team meeting. I know you seem like you had a project you might want to start, but introducing a character also great.
Yeah, I'm gonna start a project.
Okay.
So the I think that the anomaly is getting better at interpreting people's actions, and one enormous subset of actions that seem to be that can be easily categorized with each other is the concern trying to investigate the anomaly. And so I want to start a 4-stage clock,
Mm-hmm.
where the anomaly is basically giving how do I phrase this? Is this if people know what I'm trying to say and
Is it-
have
Can you start from the top again? What does the end
Yeah,
result
okay.
here look like, or what?
the end result is that the anomaly is like providing anomalous actions
For
to the
the
scientists
concern
for the concern, because the concern is like they actually are the group least trying to get out.
Yeah.
But what they are doing is trying to observe anomalous actions.
Right.
And so the Anomaly's like, yeah, whatever they're trying to prove,
Yeah.
whatever result they want to see, just just do that.
What is the? I'm trying to think. What happens when this completes? I guess we'll find out what happens. But my thought here is, why does this take multiple weeks, or why does it take not weeks? Why does it take multiple turns to do? Is it because it's figuring out how to do it?
Yeah, because it started out with just the wall, duplicating, giving people more of things.
Yeah.
And then it was giving people better of things, and then it's trying to figure out how to not just fulfill desire, but counteract negative desire.
Right.
It's trying to prevent people from having the desire to leave.
Yeah.
And now this group that doesn't want to leave, it wants this other specific thing. And who knows what the anomaly is, but
totally.
But all the different concerned people have these different ideas of what it is, and those are the anomaly's how do I fulfill that?
Right. I've written down the anomaly gives concerns anomalies. Love it. I'm glad that we've arrived at I'll save this commentary for later, is what I will say. Anyway. Okay. It's my turn. We'll draw a card.
Really tempted to introduce sorry.
No, fine. Yeah.
I was tempted to introduce a character and then couldn't. I also really wanted to have an action or a project up there because it's been a while.
Yeah,
since
totally.
Project.
Definitely. Queen of Wands. An avenue of research just isn't working out. What is it? Why do the researchers decide to give it up? The researchers become frenzied working on a new breakthrough, working long nights and ignoring their health to find out more. What's worked them into such a frenzy? I think it's the first one here. An avenue of research just isn't working out. No, I've changed my mind. It's way more interesting to be the latter. The research, Tinker and Barker, I think actually Tinker is able to explain to all the other agents here that we've brought up that Maria is attending to the garbage cans at this point, and has focused on the fact that the staff is potentially an extension of the park in some way. And so instead of being the garbage can fire doesn't work, it becomes the garbage can fire absolutely worked. It didn't work in damaging the place. It worked in getting attention. And so we're going to have to start trying to communicate. And so at first it's just figuring that the thing that's frenzied here is all of the possible ways they can try to fuck up the park a little bit, setting things on fire, vandalizing the walls, stealing teddy bears from behind. What happens if you take all the prizes from a place? What if you knock out someone who's operating one of these things and take all of the stuffed animals, and then a kid comes up to it and wants to win a stuffed animal? What happens? And so they begin working.
I have a question.
Yes.
Do they put a penny in the penny machine and then a can of spray paint somehow comes out?
The penny machine is in the HQ,
stuff?
unfortunately, not here.
Right.
But they do, presumably, they find markers, they find Sharpies somewhere, or you know what I mean? They find spray paint if they need it, right? Is that...
With those big Molotov markers.
Yeah.
Nib.
Totally. So I think they become frenzied working on that breakthrough. They work long nights. They're not going to bed. They're trying to identify which parts of the park staff actually are extensions of the park. Are they being communicated to? They're trying to figure all of that out. So that is what they are frenzied working on. Then clocks advance. And I'm going to create a 6-step clock. You know what? I think 5-step clock. 5-step. 6-step. 5-step.
5-step.
5-step. I'm going to delete this one and just copy one that we've already set up, which is the concern learns to communicate with the park. And that is an extension of this thing, this set of experiments where they're trying to figure out, okay, this thing sees what we're doing, it is aware of us in some way, etc. There we go. Okay, that is my turn. Andy.
Okay. So let me draw a card. The Knight of Cups.
Ooh, okay. Look at that! Look at that
It's a
giant
big
cup.
That cup's as big as that horse's
That's a
head.
big cup. It's a knight. The Knight of Cups. The knight needs a big cup.
Damn.
Someone on the team has stolen something. What? Wait a second. Did we already do this?
Have we already?
Did we
done
do this wrong? Did we read the
That
wrong one
doesn't
before?
sound familiar to me.
The next one is 100% a thing we did, because the next one is someone on the team has found a way to use the anomaly for profit. What did we read? Did I read the wrong knight before? I must have, right?
I drew Knight of Pentacles.
Knight of Pentacles. Let's see. Did I read the wrong one?
So I guess if we do Knight of Cups now, we'll read Knight of Pentacles. That's an easy fix.
Yeah, the team okay, yeah, well, I somehow, I don't know what happened there, but I read the wrong one. I know exactly what happened. I searched for Knight of P, and it took me to Knight of Cups, because Cups has a P in it. Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles says, the team discovers a relevant event in the community's history that appears to involve the anomaly. What is it? Or the team discovers when the anomaly first appeared in the area, how long has it been here?
God, this is hard. Okay. I think I'm going to put in the second one. The team
Okay.
discovers when the anomaly first appeared in the area and how long has it been here.
Yeah.
And so this is when they find out that this has been going on for a year.
Okay.
It's been here for a year, but it has felt like it just got here.
Yeah.
It's like a weekend.
Yeah, it's felt like a weekend, but like this has been happening every weekend for a year.
Right. Have they been investigating it for a year at this point? And just don't remember? Or is it...
Yeah, so is it like...
Or just have people been coming to it?
The people who sort of remembered, hey, wasn't that last weekend? Those are the people who have been like stuck in the loop the longest.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's asking, yeah.
Yeah. I think so. I think that works. Like, that makes sense to me, at the very least, that, like, this thing is less of a, like... This thing is less of, like, a new phenomenon that's been, like, that has just started, but is actually a, like, locational phenomenon, basically.
Okay.
Is what I'm getting at, where, like, the carnival itself is, like... It's almost able to like hide this fact that it's been here for so long.
Yeah, totally.
The other question that brings up is this the first weekend the concern has been there, or have they been restarting their investigation every weekend for a year?
Right,
from
that's
square zero.
Yeah.
I'm open to like give this one out to the table here.
Or do they not know yet? Maybe that's even more interesting. Is like, hey, have we been doing this for a fucking year?
When they find out,
right.
Like, because they've discovered how, like, the card is, they discover when it first appeared in this area, and they're like, wait, what the fuck? That is the wrong digit and the last digit of the year's column.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
It's so fucked.
It is. Okay, I'm going to advance these clocks, and then you're going to take an action.
Okay, so I want to do the Cups has acquire or lose something as a thing.
It does. This should be Pentacles because we fucked up before.
Right, it was Pentacles.
Yeah.
Right.
Only,
but like, yeah.
But do you have a really good acquire or lose something that you want to do?
Well, I was gonna say that they lose the people, like the doubles of Tinker. And
right. I think that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. But I could also do.
So I'm just gonna put these up here. Wait, why is it not doing
I'm
it?
just trying to think. Like the problem is, I just don't really have a project that's jumping to mind straight away.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
What's the thing for Pentacles? That's character, right?
Yeah, it's
That's
introducing character.
Yeah. I'm gonna just drop these actions here. Also, by the way, that way we just have them on the screen.
I think I'm gonna have actually a team meeting.
Okay.
And I think when they find out that this has been going on so long, someone asks, "Hey, what's the harm? Right? Why are we spending so much time trying to stop this thing when no one's like died, right?" And part of this is like,
Yeah.
we've been doing this for so long, but also like it's just a fair. Let's relax.
Janine?
Are we doing is that a specific statement from a specific person?
The specific statement for it's a team meeting for the group. The specific statement, I don't have a character for it, but I think it's just like a member of the team is like,
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
why are we doing this?
Yeah, why don't we just have fun at the fair?
Yeah.
Does this person say it with a fair T-shirt on? Like,
No, but they are holding a stuffed animal they got from the Penny Smasher.
great.
Oh yeah, the Penny Smasher is giving people prizes now.
What gives you what you
think
need? Sorry.
I think someone else on the team says like, I mean, it could be a problem, but we don't really have any firsthand experience with it. Maybe we should decide in person.
Wait, Janine, what do you mean in person?
Maybe we should go to the fair and see if it feels bad. If it feels bad, then it probably is bad. But if it doesn't feel bad, maybe it's okay. I don't know.
Oh, I thought this meeting was happening at the fair.
I think this is back
This
at
is
the
happening.
Concern, like True
Yeah.
Concern HQ, not
Okay.
not
Alright.
FOB, not Forward Operating Base Concern Park 1.
Okay, I have I'm gonna play Barker radioing in.
Yep.
We have got to do these meetings at the Egg Scrambler. I cannot leave the Egg Scrambler.
I'm giving this answer as Agent Snave, who says, I think Agents Barker and the other one are totally right. We gotta bring more people here. In fact, I think I'm gonna, if it's okay, I'm gonna take a little bit of money out of the special operations budget and put out an ad in the newspaper on behalf of this fair to really get the word out that more people should come. They could ride the zipper, for instance, or anything else. And I also really, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go check out this park too and just get in on the ground floor over there and see how things are going, to see if there's any differences between Park 1, Park 2. I hope that makes sense.
You should put some coupons in that ad.
I don't have the authority to do that. That would be illegal. I don't want to draw more attention to our investigation. Snave out. You get to answer, Andy.
Oh, right. I
That was
did
a
get an
real
answer.
no and there.
I'm going to answer this one as like a character now, and I think this is Trotter, who is like, "You're all being ridiculous. For years, this is what we've done. We need to contain these things. We don't know if it's dangerous, but it could be."
Shout out to Trotter. Trotter, real
That's
one.
Trotter.
All right. Janine, time to draw a card.
Okay, how many wands are left?
I could check, but I don't.
We've only
The
had
world.
one major arcana card,
We got
right?
a second one. We got a second one.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
You wanna read this one, Janine?
The world. The anomaly is found to be far more far-reaching in its effects than the team feared. Just how big a scale is it?
Oh.
This is where setting this in the Bluffiverse gets complicated.
But also, yeah.
I mean,
we could just say there's ways to say this without saying stuff. You know what I mean? Without spoiling Bluff stuff necessarily.
Is there something specifically that you two are referencing that I don't know yet?
The thing that I'll just say the thing from before is that during the last recording that we did, I made a note that the character names that the players were playing, because of where they were from, should not feel especially aestheticized. They shouldn't have alliteration the way that like comic book characters do. They should have the sort of flow of everyday life of like kind of clunky names that people have, where it doesn't necessarily sound like an especially cool name. It should sound like something that has all of the reasons a name is a name, separate from like sounding cool. And so
my name is Keith because my dad's name is Keith.
Exactly.
Not because Keith Carberry is a good sounding name.
Exactly. It happens to be a good sounding name, and the sort of regular aestheticization that we do in our regular lives is acceptable. But it's, you also just get, what's that dude's name? Evan, the guy, Sean Evans. That's just a name. Do you know what I mean? And so the next Bluff game has people with names like that in it, is what I will say. For people who are not caught up, I don't want to spoil what that means necessarily. But for people who are, you should be able to interpret what I'm saying there pretty clearly. And so what I was saying, Janine, is like that's a way to talk about how far-reaching this thing might be. But there's other ways too.
Yeah.
My impression was like, Bluff time is weird, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's also a good way of doing it. Yeah.
We haven't gone into when exactly this is happening.
We haven't.
But like, if we had like in a broad, like if we had like a story, if we did things like have story binders, like if we planned out 40 years of Bluff, being like, yeah, there was just like 8 years where all of Bluff was in a loop, like in the 70s, like that wouldn't be that out there.
I was going the other way, which was, whatever time we have, in my mind, I've been picturing this as being again, Bluff is timey-wimey. It's always been a little weird in this way. But there are also clear, distinct eras. We've talked about Millennium Alexander Black having had a time in the 70s in Bluff City, and like whatever 70s Bluff City looks like. We just did that game of Fiasco that was clearly set in the like late 60s, early 70s vibes. We've done stuff that has been absolutely set in the future of Bluff City, and stuff that has like 80s vibes. It could be as simple as like people from different eras start showing up. We've had a lot of talks lately internally about what Bluff might look like over different time periods, like that's time is definitely an angle.
I have a metaphor that I want to use here.
Sure.
The Anomaly is like, the phrase bookworm comes from an actual worm that eats paper. And the Anomaly is basically like a worm that has chewed a hole through a book. And every page in the book is an era of Bluff City.
Yeah. So
this worm, exists on every single page at the same time. Even though that page is distinct, it has its own, part of the story. But the worm is the sort of constant of just like at the exact same point throughout. And it just is as it is. So I don't think people of different times show up because of the time that the people, the page is the page.
Right.
So while it's there at different points in time, all those times are their own page.
And so there is continuity people are there for as long as they're there.
Yes.
But that means that people must be able to get out. Or are there people is there someone in here who's 90 who has been here for 80 years since they were 10?
I mean, I think the thing there is, the thing that gets asked there is, are they trapped here as time moves, or are they just trapped here in perpetuity?
In perpetuity, and if so, where is the boundary of what counts?
I have a sort of, I guess, question or possible. I have an understanding of this, and I would like to know if I'm right or wrong. Where it's like, okay, this bookworm is its own timeline in a sense, so it's not like it's covering, it's bored through the book in a way where it is in all these different eras, but it's not always in all of those eras. It is right now in all of them because of its position in the book, where it's like, in Back to the Future Part 1, there isn't a Biff future, but there is in 2, in the same way that right now there is a worm through all of time. And you can...
you kind of lost me with the Back to the Future part.
Okay.
It seemed to me
there is currently a worm timeline.
I think it's always there. It's just that if you're there in 1900, if you're in the 1900 fair, you're not seeing people from the 2819 fair. You're seeing, and even if you stay there for 30 years, you're in the 1900 fair for all 30 years. Is the way Janine made it seem.
Okay,
yeah.
I figured out how to rephrase my thing.
Okay.
It's always there, but it's been going on for a year. So 1 year ago, it wasn't always there because it wasn't there at all. But this year, it is always there.
I have a way to explain this. Because, okay. So imagine that time is a book.
Yeah, always on it.
Time isn't all laid out already, necessarily. Time is a book that gets a page added every year, and that page is a year, etc.
Mm-hmm.
The worm is eating the pages as they are added. So there is to some extent like a break where a new page is in the process of being added, it is added, then it is eaten through.
So has the worm only eaten this page now? Like, the worm wasn't here a year ago until a minute ago.
Yeah.
It has
and now
inserted
the worm has
itself
eaten through this page.
into the
worm is
year
part of this page.
that has already happened.
I think that we're all on the same page now, or at least us three. I don't know about Andy.
Great, I've understood the entire time. Got it right away.
Andy's in
I do have
3019.
one. Unfortunately, I do have one last question, which is, if you kill the worm, and I'm not saying that's what we're here to do, but conceptually, if you were to kill the worm, does it remove the worm from 80 years ago,
Right.
or is that all? That's all Carnival forever moving forward.
Can I just say, play to find out what happens here?
Okay.
I think that's a play to find out what happens. I think I think that's a good question for the concern to have.
Yeah, that's the thing. This is found to be far more reaching in the effects.
How do we figure it out? How do we learn this?
That was like a team meeting, but for real.
It really was. I love that. That was like, I want a whiteboard in the movie version of this.
It's a piece of chalk, right? Because like the wall is painted black in the dark ride or whatever. And someone found a piece of chalk and they just have a fucking galaxy brain moment where they're just drawing worms in books and like eating holes in book pages, and they're just like going, and everyone else is just kind of there for it.
Yeah.
For the ride.
Can I propose something here too?
Yes.
What if we found someone who's been to the fair twice? Who's like, yeah, I was here when I was 8. I'm now 48. I've been here before. I got stuck here when I was a child. No one believes me.
This is my coyote.
This is my coyote. Yes. I had this coyote 40 years ago. Etc.
The answers to Benedict and everything.
Yeah. Benedict? That's Benedict. God. I'm not drawing the worm diagram. I think Janine has done a great job of drawing a picture with her words. You still have to move to advanced clocks. which I'm doing now. Which was, wait, let me just make sure I'm right. Keith, advance 1 on my turn, advance 1 on Andy's turn, now advance 1, yeah, okay. Boop, and then mine, bop. And now Janine, you can have a conversation, start a project, or with a major arcana, take an anomalous action.
Hang on, I have to quickly Google New Jersey folklore.
There's a bunch.
Oh, whoa, okay. That was... Oh, okay. Damn, that's a good one right off the bat. All right. There's a giant, like a giant statue of Captain Kidd in the middle of the park now, or in the middle of the fair now. What is Captain Kidd? So I googled New Jersey folklore, and the second thing here after Jersey Devil, which I don't care, played out, is Dem Bones. My granny was told as a child that Captain Kidd, knowing the law was on his trail, traveled up the Jersey coast looking for the perfect spot to bury his stolen booty. And he found it near a grove of gnarled, windswept pines on Sandy Hook. One moonless dark night, the adventure galley slid silently into harbor at Sandy Hook. Adventure galley sounds like a ride that's already at this point.
Yeah, 100%. Yep. Is it in front of the adventure galley? Is that where this?
Yes.
Okay.
But this is coming from the like big statues like Paul Bunyan and shit like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're just like weird roadside.
Yes.
So it's a giant statue of Captain Kidd. It is hollow. You can climb up inside it. It's that kind of thing. It is just there now. It's just there.
Is Captain Kidd as in William the Kid, or Captain Kidd the pirate? This is the pirate, right?
Well, the title of this New Jersey folklore entry is Dem Bones, so I'm gonna say yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna say pirate. I mean, cowboys and whatever didn't have stolen, buried booty, so
I love the comments on this, which seem like things Jack has written. Cool, if you say it right, you could make a song. Wow, I heard about that before I read this. Wow, that's a good story. Great story, haven't heard it before, thanks for sharing. It's not often you hear that after tales regarding pirate activity, hauntingly different. OMG, there's even a song called Dem Bones by Alice in Chains. I love that song. Anyway, okay. Keith, it is your turn.
Hi.
Draw a card.
Yeah, first I want to say that Janine just Googling in New Jersey folklore made me realize that I don't know any Massachusetts folklore, which seems really nuts because I feel like there probably is a lot. That's something I should read about. But here, let's draw a card. Am I supposed to be able to just drag it from the deck?
The top
no, it totally doesn't work.
You're not hitting.
You can't draw it from the. It has to be the card that sticks out.
Yes.
You have to drag
3 of
that.
Cups. We have not had very many cups, have we?
Not. 3 of Cups. How are members of the team paid for their work? Or what personal luxuries do members of the team not have access to?
Yet.
Whoops, I didn't mean to draw. That was not intentional.
Well, they have to use carnival toilets for one thing.
Yeah, and showers?
Oh, God. They just have to wash from the porta potty sink.
Okay, this is interesting. I was trying to figure because I was like, both of these actually are difficult to answer based on the fiction that we've come up with, because there's like, how is Barker getting paid? She can't leave. The egg scrambler, like. And then the rest of the agents of the concern, probably have money paychecks. And then the other side of it is like, what do they not have that they want? Which is like, well, that's exactly what the anomaly is trying to solve. And it's like, oh, well, that's exactly what the anomaly is trying to solve. So let's talk about what they don't have, because maybe then they'll have it soon. Austin, you said showers.
Yeah,
that's gross. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Showers is a good one. Somewhere to sit down.
Like benches.
Beds,
benches,
right.
Couches. They don't have like when was the last time you went to a carnival and they were just like, or even like going to Six Flags? Like, there's not a lot of places to just stop for 10 minutes.
Do they have to fake being sick so they can go to the medical tent or whatever and sleep?
Yeah, or like people are blind.
Wait, time out. Who said why fake? People have been stuck here. Some people have been here for quite. Now that the exit has been removed, days.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the medical tent's not just going to let you use their cot because you're like, I'm sleepy.
I bet they would. I bet if you were like, I
Yeah.
haven't slept in 25 hours.
I haven't slept in 2 days, but I think it's also just like people sitting on the ground. People sitting on the ground lined up to sit on the bench. And or like people like inside of like Janine, you said that the dark ride was like actually not in use.
It is, but just a section of it was like blocked off
Oh, okay.
that they were using.
Well, yeah, maybe they find somewhere where like there's a free area where you can just like lie down on the ground or like lie down on the like whatever the floor is of a section of the dark ride. But yeah, beds, medicine, places to sit and relax.
Yeah.
Especially because like part of the thing that the Anomaly's been doing so far is like get prizes, go on rides. There's fireworks, like go.
Yeah, the opposite.
Yeah,
The fucking Sailor Moon villain.
it is. It's even a small business.
It is. You're right.
Yeah, I think it's like incredibly basic stuff. Food that isn't carnival food.
Right.
Like everyone's been eating hot dogs and fried dough for days. And it's like
One
how
mom
long
snuck carrot sticks and celery sticks in her purse for her kids.
Yeah.
And a riot broke out.
Until they realized that if you drop it inside of the zipper, you can duplicate it and get a salad.
A good salad.
A good
But
salad.
it's like, one person can make salads for people.
Yeah. I mean,
And there's now hundreds of
people in here, and that's just park one. Yeah.
And speaking of the medical tent, it's like even a kid who is like, hot dogs and fried dough all day, only meal, fried dough. Like, how long until you start to feel like just
gross.
physically gross because of that.
I can't finish a funnel cake without feeling I should never eat again because of how bad it made me feel. And also, I would like another one because it's good, but I will not because
this one can have ice cream on it.
Someone asked earlier if we like funnel cake with toppings or not, and I'm just like, powdered sugar is all. That's
I like
funnel
it with
cake.
I like it with powdered
I've
sugar,
never
and I
had
like it
funnel
with
cake.
cinnamon.
Oh, we should get funnel cake. It's terrible
it's really
for you, but
good.
it's so good.
I've only had we mostly have just like fried dough, like flat.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ours is like latticed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We don't get that here.
Really? Wait,
Almost not at all.
I don't understand what your funnel cake looks like then.
It is like, imagine instead of a latticed dough, it's just like someone poured dough. And so it's like
I see. Is it like
sometimes it's like a centimeter thick, sometimes it's like puffy, like a couple inches thick, and it's just like this like almost like a pizza with no toppings, but it's fried dough.
Oh, is it not bumpy? It's not like this picture.
It's a little bumpy.
Okay.
Yeah, some inches
are or like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's almost like a
where
pie.
are you?
I just googled funnel cake. It should be on the
it's on the
stream.
On the screen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some of these look like almost
see.
like big cookies.
So that bumpy thing, it's not bumpy like that.
This is
like,
mine. Mine is just 100% this vibe of like deeply latticed and interwoven funnel cake.
Yeah.
But yours is like flat.
It's like if you do a Google image search for fried dough, it's that.
Okay. Oh, okay. That's completely different. Yeah, I see. That looks good too, though. I'd eat this.
It's good as hell. It is the exact same thing as funnel cake. This is like slightly doughier. It's like there's like less bits that are crispy.
Right.
But it's still plenty crispy. I think it's just as good. It's great. Fried dough all day. Until you're at the fair for 2 days,
Right.
and then
you're
please try. Where is that mother with her salad bag?
All right. That is your card. We
That's my
still
card.
need to advance clocks.
Yeah.
Yours
Cups is facts.
and then cups is facts. Your clock finished, Keith.
Oh,
The anomaly gives concern anomalies.
okay.
So we gotta know what that looks like. And then yes, cups is acquire or lose something.
You know what I think it is? I think it's I think that it's like the way that it manifests is like all of the concerned agents at the end of the day, they come together and they all think that they've cracked the case, but it's like, no, they've all they've done is just like each had the exact, it's like their confirmation bias manifested in each of them getting the result, like whatever their gut feeling of what this thing was at the very beginning, they have now proven that to be true, each independently, and thus disproving all of their theories.
Right.
But we've learned again that one person, except for one person, Agent Barker, who has only been able to reduce in size the area that she is allowed to go in.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Now it is just the, like, it's not even the game, the whatever the kind of like carnival game is not even part of it anymore.
Right. It's like the egg scrambler and then a little patch of grass outside of that.
God. Never want to ride that egg scrambler again. I don't care how boring it is.
I like the egg scrambler.
I'm just saying, if that's the only thing you've been at for 4 days.
Yeah.
All right, now, yeah, you can start a project, have a team meeting, or acquire or lose something.
Okay, we are going to acquire the suspicion of the community.
Ooh, love it. What's that look like?
It looks like everybody's totally freaked out and there's a bunch of suits wandering around doing tests on shit. Like people talking to people outside of who they came with. Like, how long are you stuck in a carnival before, like, you and your two friends start, like, talking and gossiping with, like, some other folks who are also stuck here?
Right. I mean, at this point, the question is, now people understand that they're stuck here? I guess so. We talked about salad tricks, right? So
yeah.
It's been
people
long
understand that they're stuck. People understand that each other are stuck.
Has it gotten violent? Has it gotten, like, have people tried to force their way out only to find that they can't? I guess so, right? Like, all of that stuff has happened.
Yeah, that's already established. That people are, like, trying to walk out and instead are walking into a ride.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. Okay.
Like, I fell out of the ride and into the Ferris wheel or into the egg scrambler.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay.
Honestly, it's one hell of a meet cute, though.
All right. Where'd your parents meet? Well, all right.
They warped into an egg scrambler.
God. All right, I'm drawing a card. The 7 of Swords. How does the team treat authority? Are they respectful or resentful? How do members of the team treat those they have power over? God. Okay. Well, on the heels of that, I think that they're going to turn. On the heels of 2 things. One is the people growing suspicious. I'm doing the second one. Treat those that they have power over. After people start treating them with suspicion, but also after they realize the anomaly is giving them fake anomalies to be concerned with, there's this sort of like streak of like, all right, we're all going to go back to the Woods of Woe where we have our base. We are going to lock that place down. We are going to have patrols to make sure no one comes in or near us. We are going to locate not velvet ropes, but the ropes, not ropes, but like the sort of the things that like have like a vinyl fabricy like pull out to make a line thing. You know what I'm
like
Yes.
seatbelt
the
poles.
seatbelt pull,
Yeah.
those things, and cordon off our HQ.
Talking about setting up a stanchion.
Yeah, exactly. Setting up a stanchion and keeping everyone away. And they are like, you know, concerned members, as you may recall from previous games, are pretty, especially field agents, are pretty capable. Capable in like an action movie way, capable in a violent way, capable in an espionage way. They have all sorts of talents, and at this point, they're using them to intimidate people who try to get too close to them, who are suspicious of them, or hide themselves, and both. So I think we start to get more of them, and also maybe the suspicion starts to go kind of both ways, where it's like, all we need to do, maybe some of these people aren't to be trusted. Maybe we should start tailing these so-called families in this park.
Yeah, the concern is already suspicious of that one employee.
Right, so maybe it's not just the employees, maybe it's everybody else. And so we get a kind of not a dark turn. I think at the bottom of all of this is we are so close to figuring out how to talk to this fucking park. Like, we just need to keep it together for a couple more days, and everything is going to be fine. So let's just try to make sure no one here is plotting against us. Let's make sure that anyone who is stays the fuck away from us, etc.
Put any schemes on hold.
Right, but especially the schemes of other people who might try to break into the woods of woe to find out what we got going on in here. I don't want anyone to see my worm drawing, okay? It's my worm drawing. So that's 1. 2 is I'm going to check this clock. We only have 1 clock up. And then 3, what was it? The 7 of Swords, and Swords is secure or endanger something. I think at this point, the state of the thing that this is has gotten to the point where we talked about the mood turning inside of the concern. We talked about okay, this is gonna go good. The concern disappears Agent Snave. Agent Snave walks into Park 2 only to learn that this is not actually Park 2. It is a sting operation to stop Agent Snave. The concern has set up a fake one of these parks to... Park 2 exists. They've also set up a fake Park 2 to get Agent Snave caught in his scams, and he is secured and disappears. Somewhere, Agent Trotter is very pleased.
That's it?
That is it. Secured.
All right. So my turn then?
It is your turn.
Awesome. Cool. The Knight of Swords.
Ooh. Sam of Swords. I am suddenly very glad I got rid of Agent Snave. The Knight of Swords. Someone seizes an opportunity and takes a place of power in the community. How does the team think the Anomaly was involved, and why does this worry them? Someone seizes an opportunity, accomplishing something incredible despite the risks. What do they accomplish, and who is endangered to do it?
So my knee-jerk reaction is to go with number 2.
Okay.
And the thing they accomplished being they got out of the park.
Ooh.
And I think, who was endangered to do it was either, trying to think. I think it was just, other guests in the park. I think it was a guest who did this. I think it was someone who was just, fed up of fucking, being here, and they, I think they, I don't know. I'm trying to think of the specifics of how they got out, but I think maybe even maybe it has something to do with the garbage cans that have been set on fire or something. I'm trying to think of a way to make it dangerous.
Yeah.
Quickly.
Does it have to do with we introduced this giant statue, this Captain Kidd statue in front of the. What was the name of the ride again, Janine?
I don't think I.
Do we not just decide it's called the Adventure Galley?
In the middle of...
Oh, okay.
Oh, right. Yes, the Adventure Galley is like the ship mentioned in that, and there's definitely a ride called that for sure.
Yeah. Is it to do with?
I know what it is. I think they have to go, like, you know how they have to go into like the inner workings of the ride nearest to the Captain Kidd thing.
Like the inner workings, meaning like where the machine work is, like where the
like
gears
where
and
maintenance
shit are.
workers would go.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think they try and bring a few other people, and like people stop or like get hurt in some way because like you're not supposed to be going through there while this is running.
Yeah.
And they open a door, and when they go through the door, they are in the middle of Bluff City somewhere.
Huh. Interesting. Cool. Do they get word back? Do they try to get word back?
I think so. Part of me wants to be like, no, they just like kind of forget about it. We established that this is something that the Anomaly works with, where it kind of like slips in and out of your awareness.
Mm-hmm.
So I think maybe they went home for a bit and then were like, wait a minute, where's everyone I know?
Right.
And that then maybe they try and get. I don't think they can make contact though.
Okay. But they do remember being there?
After a time, yeah, they do.
Okay.
They do remember, yeah. It's not immediate though. It's like it's like how wasn't that here last weekend thing
right.
for a lot of people.
Right.
Yeah.
I've advanced the concern can communicate with the park, which now completes. God, what's this even look like? Is there a person that they can speak through? Is it just about focusing their desires? Is there a Ouija board? What is the parking lot fair carnival equivalent of a giant Ouija board?
Wait, sorry, I missed something. What is the Ouija board for?
Communicating with the park.
Oh,
the concern now can communicate with the park. Is it a fortune-telling machine? Is it... What's an interesting way to do this? Does anyone have any ideas on this?
I have some ideas.
Uh-huh.
Well, my like number one idea is like is an impulse to go away from to move away from like the increasingly obscure, as much as I would love to do some bullshit with a claw machine.
Uh-huh.
Or a fortune telling machine. My impulse here is like Maria shows up and hands them the keys to a trailer.
Right.
Like the kind of trailer that staff would,
like a little white trailer that you hook on the back of a
Aerostream, is that what they're called?
Mm-hmm.
One of those like silver pod ones.
Yeah.
From, like,
nice.
The 70s.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like she just shows up, just like tosses it at Trotter or something.
Yeah. What's inside? What do we? Who speak? What is? So they go in. They open the door. Is it inside of it? Is again kind of era appropriate, mid-century.
It's like a kitchenette.
Yeah,
with
with
some
like
curtains that have a rod at the top and the bottom, so they don't flap around when you're driving.
There's like the smell of percolated coffee and like a toast
and damp plywood, because when you do the dishes in the sink, it always kind of leaks a little bit. And like chemical toilet has to smell like a chemical toilet.
Has to smell like a chemical toilet. Is there like a carnival? Is it the person who's in here? Is it where's the person's name?
Peter or something?
Peter. Is it Peter? Junior? Peter?
I got an idea, but then I was like, oh, that's just control. I can't do that.
Okay.
My thought was that it was like there was like an antenna TV. I'm drawing so specifically on my childhood here, where we had a trailer and there was a fridge, and the fridge was set into sort of like a wood compartment, and there was a little shelf on top, and we put a TV with an antenna up there, and you could really not watch anything. All you could watch on that was like basically the news and Jay Leno and MASH. That was for some reason, that's like all I remember ever receiving on that thing. So I'm picturing like an antenna TV that has like one of those clicky dials, even not
click,
even like a remote or anything. It has
click.
the from back when there were 10 channels. So why wouldn't you use a dial? That kind of thing.
Yep. John Peter Foster was the person whose name you introduced.
Yeah. And you can like click it, and maybe it's like you find the channel that he's on, or maybe it's like you click it. I have to keep clicking it like one of those signal searcher things to hear the response.
Yeah. You have to find, like, every time you ask a question, you have to click through to find the answer, and by the time you get there, you're like a little bit too late for the very beginning of it.
And then you're like, did he just say apple tater?
He said apple tater. He definitely said the apple taters provide the a generous amount of the vitamins needed to survive, etc. God, what do we learn from this? I think the conversation begins and like happens, and I mean this is a big one, right? Because we can, at this point, we can just have the conversation, but having that conversation means defining the anomaly in a real way, you know? How are we feeling right now?
So my gut leans more towards not personifying the anomaly specifically.
Mm-hmm. We're at the point though where they can communicate with it. So this can be a middle
with John Peter.
No, the project can communicate with the park.
With the park. Okay.
Yeah, so that's an established thing. Maybe John Peter Foster is a middleman, or can only. Do you know what I mean? I can meet you halfway there, but that was the 6-step clock. They figure out, because we know that they were already communicating. They were already having communication. It was just not clear communication because of things like setting a fire and having the fire turn into fireworks. Stuff like that is communication. So there was already an avenue between the two. The thing here ends up being, the other half of this is we should start wrapping up sometime soon, and also presumably we will wrap up in a way that does not erase Bluff City from the map. Who knows? Maybe we're done. Maybe this is the end of Bluff City. We don't need to release what we've already recorded.
On a live at the table episode, we canceled Bluff City.
Weirder things have happened. But I am definitely struggling with, like, how much do we just say out loud versus how much do we abstract in terms of, like, here's what they get from this. And I'm mostly curious if someone has good ideas at this point about what they think the anomaly is or would communicate with the concern. Given what we already know that they know about it, which is that it's lasted throughout.
Ideas? No.
We have ideas. Let's start with ideas. And we'll work on them until they're good. That's what we always do on this show. I feel like there's the conversation here is pretty matter of fact. I don't know that the park is trying to hide anything.
It doesn't need to.
Right.
Presumably, who knows that this hasn't already happened 52 times.
Right, exactly.
Or 5,200 times.
Right, if it's happened for 100 years, right?
Right, it's happened for a year, but it's also
been happening
forever.
After the fact forever. But we also know that people have gotten hurt, genuinely, trying to escape.
Yeah.
Presumably people have gotten worse than hurt in previous incarnations of this thing. Is this the beginning of a negotiation? Maybe I start...
Okay, here's my question. Does the anomaly get something out of people being here? What does it get out of that? It's giving people things.
Yeah.
And it arguably doesn't do that great a job of it.
Yeah.
But like if it's keeping people here and it's able to communicate, then it must be getting something out of it, even if that in a weird way is just like, oh, I'm just trying to give people a good time, which I don't think is the case. But like,
right, you think is there something, again, you brought up Sailor Moon before, there could be something parasitic happening here.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Andy and Janine, any thoughts here?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like it's something we could punt, because it could be like, hey, the communication has begun, but it's the first step in a longer process of figuring out what it wants. You know what I mean?
Yeah, kind of what we have here is that, like, they set out to find a way to communicate, and then the park was like, okay, you want to communicate? Let's sit down.
Right. Right. Well, I guess this is the larger answer we're going to give here is it giving them that, or is it giving them what they want so that they stay?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
In a new, smaller area too.
Right. And I think we the players should actually answer that, so that we know going forward we're all on the same page on that. Knowing that we have to start moving towards an end shortly because it's 8:23.
I guess the only thing I'd say to that is that, like, I mean, I guess the clock was just the concern can communicate with the park. It doesn't necessarily mean it has to have its intentions on the table. Never mind.
No, but I do think that you're right, which is like the spirit of that thing was this should be the concern succeeding at getting the thing that they want, which is to communicate.
Yeah.
Right. This was not. We didn't draw a card that said a thing completes, but not in the way that you would that the person who started it intended, or something like that.
I guess that's true, but if you like learn a language to talk with someone, they can still lie to you.
Absolutely, but then at that point, I feel like I would rather that come from a card than that says that thing, than not. Mm. Also, part of this is we shouldn't no-sell the concern.
That's true.
You know what I mean? This is a group that will continue to exist in Bluff City and be successful at this thing that's happening.
Right.
They might be
specifically this sort of thing.
Right. This is not the FBI stumbled into this and they're over their heads. Right.
This is Men in Black.
Right. And like Men in Black, they can be fucked up on the way getting there. They can stumble their way towards it and one of them gets caught up in a weird scheme and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. But eventually the mailman gets his memories back.
Right.
I'd like to.
Yes. I don't know why more people don't say, SCP Foundation, Men in Black, the X-Files. So I'm going to lean towards real communication starts happening.
Yeah, I think it's true. Even especially if like this anomaly is like, well, the thing that they want is to actually know, and also if it feels like there's no stakes in telling them, also. Right,
because it feels like it's in control.
Right.
All right. So I think maybe this is. I'm happy to say the process begins here more than we have an answer as players, but this is a vector by which fictionally we can start moving towards answers as we continue. This is Andy's turn still, right?
I think so.
Yeah, you still have.
Well, so I was actually going to set up a clock, but if we were going to do the ending, I think this idea could roll into it.
Oh, I was not saying we have to end right now by any means.
Oh, yeah.
I was just saying, in terms of thinking about pacing, I would love to be done by 9 so I can eat dinner.
Yeah, okay, so we've got time for a clock or two.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, like, what if they start trying to bargain with it? Like, they don't need to get rid of it. It can still be a fair. It just, like...
Right.
Can you let a certain number of people out and we will look the other way while a certain number are trapped in your loop for an amount of time?
Right.
Especially now with the
so it
communication
negotiates
open up.
just like a cycle. Like, it's
Basically,
like, you can just always have like 100 people here.
Right.
Well, it's because they don't need to, like, the way I'm thinking of the concern is they don't necessarily need to eradicate it. They just want to be in control of it.
Right. They need to know what it is, how it works, if it's involved with their other big cases, and whether or not. So yeah, do you want to start a clock for negotiations?
Yeah, sure.
And again, this could go bad. We could draw a card immediately that fucks this up. Yeah. How many steps do you want?
Go with like, well, I don't know, 4 or 5.
Yeah, I'd say
I think 4 sounds right.
4 sounds right to me.
We already
where
have
we
the
are in the
communication.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Boop. Misspelled the classic. That's internet humor right there, folks.
Yeah.
Welcome to Live Journal. All right.
I like it because it's inherently funny, but also I recognize it.
Yeah. All right, Janine, time for you to draw a card.
Temperance.
Ooh, I have no idea. I'm very worried. Oh, wow.
It's nice. It's great.
Yeah.
Temperance. A calming energy resides over the region. What conflicts are halted by this? What urgent matters are neglected? I'm trying to think of what is the thing that calms people at a fair or a large event. Sorry. This isn't an answer to my question, but it's very funny to me, so I'm just gonna do it. So things are a little tense, and it feels like they're kind of maybe reaching a breaking point. And the anomaly has a certain reaction to this, which is sort of, it feels like they originated from a point, but no one can say what the point was. It's just suddenly there are a bunch of them, and they're disseminating through the crowd. There's so many clowns.
Oh, I hate it.
And some of them are like traditional clowns. Some of them are like
Don't ever start a sentence like that with me again in your life. Some of them are traditional clowns, comma.
Yes.
Well, how traditional? Do you mean traditional like bozo, or traditional like French act like commedia dell'arte stuff?
Americana clowns,
Okay.
like, red nose and copyrighted makeup and all that stuff. And so, like, a good number of them are like this. Some of them are more like on the more contemporary mascot-y side, because clowns are a little bit old school. Most people now want to see like an off-brand Tom and Jerry show, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, again, there's the impression that they all maybe came off a truck or something, because they all do just kind of fan out through the crowd. They just disperse, but no one can say where they actually came from. And they all have their own little special. Some of them are balloon animals. They miraculously find the people who are going to respond well to balloon animals. And some of them are just like, hey, here's some fresh bottled water.
Sure.
A nice bottled water. Everyone likes that. Other ones are like, oh, braid a friendship bracelet on your wrist and like sing a goofy song and that kind of thing. And there are a lot. I want to say that the clown to guest ratio here is a lot higher than you would think.
2 to 1.
Oh my god.
There are now 500 clowns.
The clown to guest ratio is definitely higher than the teacher to student ratio in the school system.
Right.
Like it's
right.
There's a lot of
This is
you can
utopian.
get personal clown attention.
I don't
You
ever.
will get
Another thing I would love
Small
for
groups.
you
Everyone
not
break
to
into small
say,
groups. You each get a clown.
Personal clown attention. God.
Okay, I do have a question. I guess it's more of a statement with a question mark at the end. This is calming?
I mean,
The
look.
water.
Here's the thing. If you're in a situation where a person can be generated that deals with your specific needs, if you're the clown skeptic, you're gonna get the clown who's super meta and is like, look, I know I'm just doing this for the summer job. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I'm a visual arts major.
Right, a 19-year-old. Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
You want to smoke with me behind the
Right.
adventure boat or whatever the fuck it's called?
And one of
that helps calm some people.
It does.
Yeah.
one of the all-time
CBD
funniest things
clowns.
that I've ever. One of the all-time funniest things that I've ever seen in my entire life was in line at a fairly popular haunted house years and years ago, and there was this clown, this like scary like clown, bloody clown with a machete or whatever, and a couple of these types of characters were scaring people in line because the line to get in was so long. And there were these two like teenage girls that were terrified of these clowns that were bothering her. And the guy like takes a step towards her and she fell and twisted back, like basically did like a somersault backwards over this stanchion. Like the rope of the line acted as a fulcrum to twist her around and then slam her on the ground. And this guy immediately broke character.
Good.
Immediately was not being the scary clown that was like lunging at people. But was like, "Oh my god, are you okay? Are you?" And she was fine, but she was still like, "No, I'm not." Like so terrified of this guy. And she was okay. She stood back up, and then as he was walking past me and my family, looked at us, and then like took off his little clown nose and did like a hee 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 and like a little skip. And like seeing this clown in 3 different modes in the span of about 8 seconds was so hilariously funny to me. And I guess long story short, that's like this is what these clowns are doing. They're probably not ever murder clown, but they're just like whoever is looking at them, whoever needs whatever, the clown is like adapting to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as no one says what I need is a murder clown. An entire line of queer we did not go down and will not go down. Anyway, I was laughing earlier because I was thinking about this 19-year-old visual arts major working here for the summer as a clown with a shirt on that said "Got CBD?" in the "Got Milk" font, and then underneath it said the C stands for clown, which doesn't mean anything. Anyway. It's not that
I don't know
type
what
of
the B and D typically stand
type
for.
of abbreviation. It's a single word.
Clown badal. Clown video.
Clown bozo dance. Those are all types of clown.
Clown video. All right. I'm going to advance negotiations with the park, aided by the clown water. Janine, you get to take an action.
It aggravates your clownabinoid receptors.
So Major Arcana is
anomalous action. Start a project team meeting or anomalous action.
Yeah, you know what I'm gonna like. I'm gonna do the weird shit. People wanted me to play this game, and they didn't want me to play it so I could make clocks.
No, well,
no, it was
they could
to
be
make
good
400
clocks.
clowns.
Yeah,
they could be good clocks, but
and the clowns have stretchy limbs.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, anomalous action. Sorry, Annie's like wailing outside my room.
Annie. Hi, Annie. I'm sorry about the clowns. I'm sure they're really scary.
Yeah.
I bet she wouldn't handle a clown very well.
No.
Squiggle has been bringing a friend by.
Ooh.
Is it a clown?
No, it's a very small, very loud cat.
Okay. Which you could have insulted by calling a clown, but you didn't appreciate that.
This small, loud cat is a total clown. I like to think of her as like his like Squiggle is her mentor cat. Because she's much younger, I think. She's way smaller.
It's so hard to not do an anomalous action that directly piggybacks on the thing I just did.
There's no rule against that.
That's true.
Yeah, definitely
That's
not.
True. Now I'm trying to think of a way that this makes visual sense. The thing I want to do makes visual sense. What's that game that just came out where it's like all perspective-y? It's like you pick up a block and move it close to your face, and then you put it down and it's big. Yeah.
Superliminal.
Yeah, I want to do something like Superliminal, but with clowns.
Not.
You pick up a clown, bring it close to your face, and then he's a giant clown.
I think it's called that.
So I think the anomalous action is that I immediately want to kind of explore how the clowns come and go, because I think this is a thing that our agents would probably look at the second they realized a bunch of clowns appeared from somewhere. They would probably follow the clowns a little bit as like a clown's not going to stick around when it has satisfied the people who are going to be satisfied by that particular kind of clown. That clown's work is done for the moment.
Oh
that clown is going to leave. So,
never mind. It's bad. Never mind. Sorry. I'm gonna say it, but I'm gonna say it in our private thing.
So the thing that happens is, like, from that particular person's perspective, from the perspective of the person who just had a relaxing time with that clown, it just looks like the clown is just walking away, and they're going into a door in the side of a temporary building, and they're gone. From anyone else's perspective, if they are looking in that direction, which most people wouldn't be because they'd be distracted, but agents who are paying attention would look. The thing you see is that, like, no, that door is not actually that far away. That building is just like weirdly small, and it's like close, and the clown is actually just shrinking and going into that. It just gets smaller and sort of disappears into this like thing
the
that's
Willy
just like
Wonka
a
hallway.
Kind of, yeah. Basically, yeah.
The clowns come and go all weird. That's what I've written.
So it's like a hallway clown car.
Kind of, yeah.
Hey,
I mean, that's basically the situation of, like, this is how a clown car could work.
Andy,
that's a thing you want to do.
I'm sorry I stopped you from ending the game.
It's fine.
Great.
I mean, it's not like I've had a fear of clowns since I was a child. We're good.
Yeah, we're good.
No, I'm not looking at them. It's fine.
Yes.
It's just the idea of clowns.
Yeah.
Keith, it is your turn. Draw a card.
Okay. Got it. It worked this
Page
time.
of
Page of
Swords.
Swords.
So, someone new joins the team. Where were they sent from, and what's their agenda? Or someone new joins the team. What must be neglected to train them?
Okay. Snave is back.
Oh no, this motherfucker.
But it's what is their agenda? Well,
They meet a clown that just lets them rob it.
This Snave. Hark. This Snave.
Got it. This Snave.
Sure doesn't want much out of the negotiations. Their agenda is to lowball the concern in terms of what they want from the anomaly.
Great.
And what do I do with swords?
Scroll down. There should be a thing there for you to look at. Swords is secure or in danger.
Oh, it's right
something.
there. Duh.
Yeah.
I want to endanger everything that's been duplicated.
Oh. How so? What's that? What does the endangerment look like?
I think some of the things that have been duplicated are removed from the worm timeline.
Okay.
I think that there's probably something with the supercharging that created more duplicates than are sustainable.
Oh, interesting. It's
And
like,
so people are eating food that is then like gone.
they're just not. Do they get hungry suddenly?
Yeah. Yes.
It's like when you fire a bunch of bullets in a video game against the wall, and then eventually your first bullet disappears. Your first the bullet hole disappears.
It's literally 100% that same thing.
The cap of what the RAM can handle.
Right. Yep. And some if it's sticking with food, like sometimes it disappears before you're able to eat it. Sometimes it disappears after you've eaten it, but it's gone, and the effects that it had on you are gone.
Great. You love that. That sounds good.
Yep.
Great.
I feel like this happens in real life because every time I eat a salad, I'm immediately hungry again.
Fair.
For more salad, gotta get some more of that salad
going. All right.
All the salad's gone.
I'm gonna draw a card for my turn. The Wheel of Fortune. That's another major. It's another major arcana there. Huh.
I wish I had drawn a major.
Huh. The Anomaly baffles all predictions. Roll all project dice. If there are no projects, everyone at the table starts a project. So I'm going to roll 1d4. And whatever it lands on is where we're at for this negotiations with the park. It's a 2. It's where we already were.
Okay. Oh, it doesn't add to it. It stays.
I think it stays at 2. I think.
Roll dice.
So what does it mean if the anomaly is unpredictable, but nothing changes visibly?
Well, the funny thing is, it's still going to tick in a second because we're about to go to that stage. So it's like, God, is it like? It feels. Oh, it feels like we've done a day of negotiation. We haven't. But we're about to, so it's fine. It's like you get up to finish the test. You know what I mean? You finish your finals. You turn them in. You walk out the door, and your professor is like, "Hey, well, seats right there for you. Glad you could make it. Fill it out and go ahead and do it again."
So it's like a deja vu.
It's like a deja vu, but the deja vu is for the entire day.
Yeah.
So there's a looping happening. They're noticing the looping happening.
Is it maybe? Oh, okay, nah, never mind.
Right?
Yeah, I was gonna say like if you take a nap and you wake up and you don't know what time it is and you're worried that you missed a whole day, but actually it's like 6 a.m. still.
Right. Oh, yeah. Right. Yes. This is Carter notes that if we're playing physically, we would mark the project with a D6. So I would actually need to roll a D6 here, not a D4.
Oh, okay.
And we'd be counting down. So I'll re-roll it if that's more interesting. Re-roll. Let's re-roll it because I think it's more interesting.
Counting down? What do you?
Because you would be if it was a 4-step clock, you'd put a D4 down. You'd put a D6 down and you'd set it to 4, and then every turn you would subtract 1. So you'd go down to 3, then to 2, then to 1, and when it advances and when it's at 1, you would take it off the table. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna roll it. So now it's a 5-step clock. I now actually have to delete this clock. So it's like...
Oh, you're changing the length of the clock.
Yes. That is what is happening
bizarre.
here. Yes.
So now it's like the day of the test and you just handed the test in and then you walk out the door and you walk out the door and it's Sunday and your professor's like, "Why are you here? The test is tomorrow."
The test is tomorrow. And also all the rest of the tests you've done this finals week, you have to redo also. Because now there's 5 steps left instead of 2, which is where we were. Great. Good. All right. God. What am I doing? Well, I'm advancing a clock, so now there's only 4 weeks left. I
was gonna say this makes perfect sense though, because Knave's back.
Yeah, Knave is part of this. I'm sure. Yeah. I'm fucking sure.
Knave is back, quote unquote back.
Back, yeah, totally. I'm starting a team meeting, is what I'm doing. I'm not gonna do an anomalous action. Hey, this is like high level concern. This is like You know how in I don't know if people remember this, but in the Lacuna book, there's like a whole thing that's like a tier of agent that you're not even allowed to talk about because they're that high up. It's like white level or whatever.
Like redacted from the book.
Yeah. This is this person talking to those people.
Hard to look at.
Yeah, and I'm going to lift something from the chat here. A couple of people suggested this, and this person is going to ask.
That's rare.
It is rare, but I think this is a really good a really good note. And basically, one of the two things I'm going to say originated in the chat from a few people. I need to find it so that I can. Yeah, here we go. Both from Mastion11 and We Are Foxhound both suggested one of the two things I'm about to say. People low in the concern have conversations like, what should we do about X? Or, hey, you know what a good idea would be is blah. At this tier of the concern, it is like, these people don't fuck around with that stuff. And so this person says, as far as I can tell, we have two options. One is to destroy Park 1 and Park 2. We could attempt high explosives or biological agents. Or perhaps we could bring in a mystic. Or we could use it as a prison. What do you think? And the prison thing is lifted from the two people I said.
I mean, it would be foolish for us not to look at possible uses for such a interesting phenomenon, right?
Janine?
Kill the worm and the hole remains, but it's an empty hole. There's nothing to fill it. It becomes much more complicated, potentially.
Keith?
We're all this
this
level. Okay.
Yeah, they would not ask this to the rest of the concern.
Jeez. Andy, what did you say?
I said I think something along the lines of like it would be foolish for us not to take advantage of such a unique phenomenon. Real scumbag shit, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Scumbag shit. If we used it as a prison, we'd have to be careful about who we chose to send in. Anybody that we'd fear losing probably shouldn't be sent.
And my answer is, no one is irreplaceable. And that is my turn. Andy.
All right. Let me see here. That's the Three of Swords. Ooh, look at that card. It's a heart with 3 swords through it.
Ooh, that's a fancy card.
Where's this? There we go.
You got it?
Yeah, the team has an insider in the community. Why is this person helping? Or someone in the team is stealing resources. What do they need it for? How are they hiding this? Oh, I have an idea for the second one.
Okay.
And I've kind of established like Trotter a little bit as the old curmudgeon here. And I think that maybe he gets wind of some of this, like, because he's been there for a while. I imagine he's got connections and stuff.
Yeah.
He gets wind of this plan to make use of the anomaly as a prison, basically. And he starts stealing research from this so he can eventually, like, render it obsolete, basically.
Right, like a counter something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And how are they hiding this? Does anybody have any suggestions for that? I can think of something.
Is Trotter helping or working against the prison?
So he's working against the prison. He doesn't want the prison. He thinks that this is like too dangerous to still be around. Is his stance on this. So he doesn't want it to see it used that in a way that could result in like more damage being done.
My answer is obviously going to be one of those things that, at the top of the thing we're like, hey, don't worry about continuity. But I think that there could be a radio station where there's a contact that Trotter has who can keep it in a safe place.
That definitely works for me.
Do you know what I mean? They have a contact who is someone who works against the worst of the concern shit. And like, yeah, I'll put this in a drawer. It'll be safe. And there are lots of types of drawers. You know what I mean? Some drawers don't open.
Yeah.
Or they only open when they're supposed to.
Yeah, I like that.
And then we could return, listen.
Yeah.
What we've done here is world building, so we can always wrap back around to this bullshit.
Exactly. So
anyway, so what is the type of research that's being kept here? This is
the type of research. I think it is on it is like records of everyone of like what's gone in, but more importantly, everything that's come out. I think even, like in his suitcase, he's got things that came out of the Penny Crusher, just as like samples. Like I don't know if there's anything in here, but like just I will put this like
a coach bag filled with
out of this thing in here.
Yes, totally. It's like open up this fucking like really good satchel, like the heavy satchels that have like metallic like cinches and stuff. There's like a thumbtack comes out, a jack from Jack's, like out of the little metallic, what are those?
Like a little Hot Wheels car.
Totally.
Yeah.
Each of which could be imbued with their own weird anomalous energy.
Exactly. And that's why he's like, no, I'm keeping these and sending them to someone who isn't going to ignore it.
Yeah. Cool. And then you get to, with the Three of Swords, start a project, have a team meeting, or secure or endanger something.
Let's see. I feel like I kind of want to secure something here that gives the concern a bit more leverage with their plan. Because we've quickly pivoted where they're the bad guys.
Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't really much of a pivot.
No.
It's kind of been implied.
Yeah.
But like, I'm being more out and out with it.
Yeah.
So I think maybe they, you know what I think they do? I think they managed to like, I don't know how to, I guess word this, but they secured like the media narrative around the fun fair in a weird way. Like the advertising and stuff and like the like radio ads, and like they haven't gotten rid of them, but they're tuning them so it is less like, because I don't think that they can just get rid of them. I think that would be against the spirit of the anomaly. But I think that like they're tuning them to be more manageable, so it's not like this thing is overflowing while they're trying to figure out how to control it.
Right. Is it like, did they edit them so that it's like, maybe you came last weekend, but in a way that's like reminds me, oh yeah, I was just there. It's okay. I don't need to go back yet.
It's stuff like that. It's stuff just like they like changed the music in the background because they weren't sure if that was an effect that was happening on like the radio ads.
Sure.
It's a bunch of little things that basically make the effect of the old ads weaker.
Mm-hmm.
They should say something is under renovation.
Right.
Because that's the thing. It's just like, oh, my favorite thing. Oh,
the zipper is under renovation. Ugh.
Why even go?
Yeah.
You know what it would be? They'd say the machine, the one where the escape is. They'd say that's out of order.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Right.
The adventure galley.
Control all of this.
Yeah, totally. Well, like, and there might even be an unconscious thing happening here where someone goes like, "Well, I can't go if the adventure galley's broken." I don't know why I feel like that, but it feels like I wouldn't want to go unless the adventure galley was operating. Yeah. Great. Janine, do you want to draw a card?
I do. The moon. I'm on a major arcana
You are.
streak.
We missed
Really?
we hadn't hit them in a long, a
Look
lot.
at that
Yeah.
lobster on the moon card.
The moon lobster. Something
Lobster.
mundane is revealed to be another aspect of the anomaly. How was this discovered? And how does it make the situation more perilous? Immediately, my thought, because of the nature of this anomaly, this should be a difficult thing in a way. Immediately, though, my thought is this entire parking lot. The anomaly is not on the parking lot. The parking lot is not just the place that it is. The parking lot itself, and maybe even did we decide what it was attached to? For me, in my head, it's a department store because for me, the only fair I had like this locally set up in the parking lot of the mall, specifically adjacent to the Sears anchor store.
Yeah, a department store works.
Yeah.
And
mine was in the parking lot of a Jewish preschool.
Mine was a church. I mean, mine was also a church, also a mall. You know, like I grew up with these all over the place. This is such a thing that was part of my childhood.
I like the idea specifically, though, of it being the parking. I like the idea of it being attached to a mall with an anchor store and a big parking lot. And it's not the entire parking lot, but it's specifically the section of the parking lot and this one anchor store. So it's like a fading department store.
Right,
that
like a Boscov's
serves that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And is now part of the Boscov's is now part of this.
Always was.
Always was. It turns out
to an extent. That's like the Boscov's is the first bite of the worm.
Mm-hmm.
So is it like if you were trying to get out, if you're trying to get out to leave, you can't, and someone figured out that if they try to get out just to go to the store, it works?
Yeah.
But
I mean, you can leave the Boscov's.
Oh, so is this another door out then?
I mean, I think to me, in isn't until you're within the fence sort of enclosure of the fair. And the rest of it is like you're walking on its back.
Right.
Kind of.
Oh, okay.
Is this like a thing where like the concern effectively... So wait, it is revealed to be like is this the shining thing of like seeing the photo and being like, oh shit, the same thing is here the whole time type thing, and it's like you start looking through a scrapbook, like in the middle of these negotiations, you're looking through the scrapbook and seeing the place, you know, the department store used to be a flea market, but that was there first, and then it gets turned into an outlet shop, you know, whatever the 1920s version of a mall, you know, or of a department store,
1920s version of a department store.
Yeah, I know. It's that, and then it's you know, the department store is always there in all of these different photos, basically in the background. Maybe it's a different name.
Park 2 is attached to.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe a different or the same department store. Also,
Outlet mall.
What if Park 2 is just on the other side of the store?
God. Yeah, we've had weirder things in Bluff. I just want to double check something. So I rolled a 5. That was during your turn, Keith. It was my turn. My turn, it was a 5.
That was your turn,
I advanced it once. It was 4. Then Andy's was 3. Now Janine's 2. Okay. Yeah, that's good, Janine. I like that a lot. I've now advanced this clock. You can take an action.
Okay. I really like anomalous actions a lot. And you know how I said that thing about like people aren't getting trapped in the department store? The idea of getting trapped in a Boscov's is very funny to me.
Yeah.
I don't even know what a Boscov's is.
It's a shitty department store that I also grew up with. It's like a mid-Atlantic.
I didn't grow up with a Boscov's. I just know them from watching so many dead mall videos on YouTube because it's an American chain.
Yeah.
Is it like a Sears or is it like?
Yeah. I'd say it's like a JC. It's like a JC Penney that's more affordable and also deeply. I've never been in a Boscov's where I didn't think that this Boscov's wasn't 20 years old, like 20 years stuck in the past. Even when I was a little
mostly
boy.
Clothes. Like they don't also sell like grills.
No, they sell grills.
Okay.
They have like a smaller. It's a department store. Like it is they sell clothes, they sell jewelry and perfume. There's a perfume counter. They sold, outdoor supplies. There was a gardening center. There was sporting goods, fishing rods, that sort of stuff, shoes. I know walking through the Boscovs, dinnerware, even some Boscovs had furniture sections where you could get a love seat or a chair or whatever, etc. There's only a few left. 50. There's 50 left. It's been in existence for 105 years.
Wow.
Founded by Solomon Boskov. Great.
Name this after me. That'll be normal in 100 years.
So I think that the action specifically, because I need a reason that this would change. I think normally the department store is not really. It's not really a part of what it's doing with the fair. It is just an extension of it as a thing. But I think the thing that happens is that most people haven't how many people have discovered the exit? Just that one person?
It sounds like more because we talked about the radio being effective at saying if that thing is
right.
So and more people at this point.
Yeah, and the radio is discouraging people from coming.
Yes.
So I think maybe the department store exists as kind of an extension for it's a thing that is largely dormant until it is necessary to draw more people in.
Mm-hmm.
Because the ads are being run to discourage people from going to the fair, but not to discourage them from going to Boscov's to get some perfume or cheap jewelry that is expensive for no reason.
This is the other half of this is it also not active because who cares about the Boscovs? Right? It's not effective.
Yeah.
So why...
normally it probably used to be super effective. It probably used to be back when department stores mattered. It probably was a huge reliable thing that it could draw on when things waned for whatever reason.
Yeah. It was
but now it's
cold
desperate.
out, or whatever, and people weren't going to go, even though the park could make the weather nice at the park, people still weren't like, oh, it's snowing out, we should go to the park.
Yeah.
But if you happen to be at the Boscovs and you step outside and you're like, hey, it's kind of nice out. Oh, look, there's a carnival here. We should go get some funnel. We should go get some funnel cake.
And
does it become harder to ignore the carnival, the magnetic draw from the beginning when you're at the Boscovs?
Yes, it does, because department stores are depressing, especially now. So you were going through a Boscovs and you're like, God, I remember when I was little and I used to come here with my mom. And then we'd go get a chocolate chip cookie, and sometimes we'd go to the fair or something. And the fair's here. Man, I got time. I don't have to pick up Steven until 7 p.m. I can just go.
Right.
They probably sell funnel cake.
Right. I should get Steven a funnel cake.
Yeah, he loves funnel cake.
It'll be a good reward for Taekwondo class.
They have Dippin' Dots.
Sometimes you just have to treat yourself. You just have to give yourself a little treat and have fun you're a kid again.
Yeah.
After you go to Boscov's and it depresses you existentially because the childhood you remember is dead, and so is retail.
Yeah. Uh-oh, I'm stuck here. That's how it goes. All right, let's keep moving. Keith, draw a card.
Okay. By the way, Dippin' Dots are great because I bet that turns into a whole bunch of different kinds of small foods.
Oh, probably.
Like rice and Cheerios and quinoa.
Yeah.
3 of Pentacles.
Where is... Oh, there it is. The 3 of Pentacles. Whew. A local has been killed by the Anomaly. How? How does the community react to their death? Or a local has been killed by the Anomaly. How? How does the team cover up the death to better investigate? Introduce a character who wants to find the truth.
I'm going to pick number 2. That seems very concerned to me.
Yeah.
How does the team cover up their death? How does the Anomaly kill someone?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that the Anomaly kills someone because while it's not necessarily the outcome, it's not the ideal outcome, that is basically what the Anomaly does. The Anomaly needs people. the Anomaly needs people in the same way that in the game Snake, the snake needs those dots to get bigger.
Right.
And in some, I guess sometimes you have you use up one of those dots and it dies.
Does that lead the park to get bigger when someone dies inside of it?
I think that having more people inside. I guess it's the difference between like taking a shot or drinking through a straw. You know, like drinking a milkshake through a straw. Like you can have like 2 ounces of this drink all at once, and you can drink it really fast. And like it, and then it's gone. Or you can like slowly sip on a milkshake.
Right.
And like I guess killing people isn't ideal, but the benefits happen all at once. So where like maybe it slowly grows, or maybe grows in more void that it can direct.
Right.
Versus like you take a gulp, or the snake eats the thing and you can watch it grow by one.
Right. Well, that's why I asked if it was a new ride, because part of my question here is like, is this a reaction to, is this like turning the Boscovs back on, a reaction to feeling like it's under threat of losing people, where it's like, now I can run an ad that says, come play the snake game, come ride the new, right. The whatever is broken, the adventure galley is broken, but the Snakeosaurus is up and running.
I know exactly what kind of ride it is. And I can tell you exactly when the last time the Anomaly killed someone was. That's how new the newest ride is. Right. And like everything looks old. I don't think it's killed anybody in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And this new ride is like now totally out of place, because I don't know if you've ever seen one of these kinds of rides, but it's like, it's the kind that you can see them at Six Flags sometimes. They were popular like 10 years ago, but they've always been dumb as hell. They are like the moving chairs in like VR goggle rides. Like you sit in a chair that like shakes and it shoots you through like a virtual roller coaster.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Have you seen those?
Yeah.
I've been on one.
Yeah, they're very strange. It really is nothing. I guess it's like someone was like, how do we make these dark rides?
Right. But
something for now.
But that's even like, there's even a kind of a thing here, right? Which is like, hey, the dark ride is allows privacy for someone like the Concern to do the shit they're doing. No.
This does not.
This does not. You're outside. Like,
it's 15 chairs all next to each other, like in 2 rows.
Yeah, in the light of day.
Everybody's wearing goggles.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's 2 things. It doesn't cramp the rest of the space. There is a new patch of area where this ride is.
Yeah. That's definitely what I imagined. Like more of the parking lot gets used up for this.
And the other thing is it gets to show you whatever it thinks can keep you in that chair. Too.
Right. We're in some Black Mirror shit.
Never seen it. Don't hold me accountable.
Okay, fair.
Should I see Black Mirror? Probably.
There's some stuff in there that's all right. I'm not like fully against it. A lot of it's very Banksy, but you know.
Yeah.
But there's some episodes there that I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And okay, so
I
it
advance
kills
the
someone.
Clock. Yeah. Oh, how does the Concern?
How does the Concern cover it up?
Yeah.
I guess where were they when this person? I'm gonna say that it happened as soon as they entered the territory. Like there's maybe it's even just like there's a chance that like the second you cross the threshold it gets you.
Right.
Its way of turning you into a cup that it sips on doesn't work. And because of that, it happens like in the parking lot.
Right.
Not in the fairground.
Interesting. Okay. Will they eventually build? Could it eventually build a fence around this and bring it into the body of the park, so to speak?
I think so.
Okay.
But this is how the concern covers it up. It covers it up by that's where the least amount of people are.
Right.
If anybody saw it, that's the last part of the thing. Someone did see it, and someone saw the concern. One of the members of the concern, was there, grabbed the body,
right,
took it away,
black bagged it.
Yeah,
like
took
a fucking
it into
Hitman level. Yeah.
Yeah, and put it in a locker, and nobody opens it. Or brought it into, maybe there's a backup. There's a second team here, right? There's 2 teams.
Oh,
you forgot about the second team.
Yeah, there's all sorts of teams out here. Yeah, definitely. To be, I'm sure to have it be studied. Hey,
right.
This thing got killed by this.
Well, there's a second HQ in the break room of the VAR. What is it? What is
Boscovs?
Boskov. There we go.
Right. Yeah.
Or
the mall security or whatever. Yeah.
So, introducing.
Yeah. So now you can start a project, hold a team meeting, or introduce a character.
No, this is part of the card. I think introduce a character.
It is.
Yeah. So, does somebody have a name for someone who sees this? I have a name. I have a list of names that I have on my phone for Bluff, but I don't have my phone near me.
Also, it's do we really need to burn one on this person who saw this thing?
Right. You never know with
I guess,
Bluff.
Yeah, you never know with Bluff.
Is there someone that we've met already who this could be?
No one jumps to mind.
Yeah.
How about this is... I don't know.
This is a funny name. I scrolled down and it says Crisis Tarot at the end of the thing, and I read it as Chris Tarot.
Chris Tarot.
Yep.
Is that just one name?
No, it's 2 names. First, last name. Christopher Tarot.
Spell tarot for me.
Tarot.
Oh, like that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Chris Tarot.
That was a genuine misreading from 15 minutes ago.
Got you. Saw the concern disappearing a body that the park killed. Okay. Great. Now, I advanced the clock already. You get to take an action, which is start a project, hold a team meeting, or introduce another character.
I'm going to start a project.
Okay.
This is this is a project. This is a project started by the High Level Concern.
Mm-hmm. Can we make it a little short, because I'm starving at this point and would like to wrap up ASAP?
Sure. Let's do 2.
Okay.
Let's do a 2-stage clock. Figure out the maximum capacity of Park 1.
Okay. Okay. Boom. All right. There we go. 2 steps remaining. All right, I'm drawing a card. This is the 5 of Pentacles, a very cool card. The locals have a legend that might be connected to the anomaly. What is it? Or, how do the locals feel about outsiders? A word we've not used before. God. I kind of like... Here's what I like. I think that there is... So we've started setting up this idea of... And we're in negotiations are about to finish. I think we introduce this idea of outsiders. And the outsiders are the people who are either stumbling in and are tourists, and that's what they start calling them. They start calling them tourists. Okay, so the locals is different than community. Community really broad. Community is
anyone that's not the concern.
Anyone that's not the concern. Locals, I'm now using to define specifically the people who have figured out what they're doing here and want to stay. This is now a community of people who live here, who are happy to live in the park.
Oh, they're not locals to Bluff. They're locals to the carnival.
They're locals to the. We've used locals to mean just locals to Bluff before, and outsiders to mean from other places. Here, I mean locals to the carnival, locals to the Spanheiser Fun Fair. These are lifelong spanners, right?
And the outsiders are the people who are trying to get back to Bluff.
Well, no,
or back to
no. I think that those people are. Those people, I mean, I'll say that those people, they're like, hey, if you want to get out of here, you get out of here. I'm not trying to keep anybody here who doesn't want to be here. Outsiders are new arrivals, which will momentarily fall into two categories. One, people who show up because of the advertising or the magnetic draw. And those people are thought of, the locals feel that those people are naive, but should be brought into the fold. They should be convinced. They should be, hey, this place is great, isn't it? Oh, we should go one more ride. Oh, did you know that they just opened up a new VR thing? You should check that out. And they start like effectively proselytizing to new arrivals in that way. The other group of outsiders are prisoners put here by the concern. And they leave them 100% alone. They have no interest in keeping them here. If they want to get out, they don't help anybody get out, but they are like, it is like finding a rotten apple in a bunch, and they're just like, I don't even want to touch it. Like, I don't even want to be like, get this away from me. It's not hostile. Well, it's hostile, but it's sort of a passive hostility. It's not a violent hostility at this point. But when they see the concern drop someone off, or when someone shows up confused about where they are, it's like, oh, we don't talk to those people. We don't deal with them. And I think this eventually begins a geographic split in the space, like in the fair, where the locals, the people who live here, like take up parts of it, and then the prisoners end up in a different place, a different, like the other half of it, like they're over near the merry-go-round and blah blah blah. And sometimes prisoners who try to escape show up in the local town, in the local like village inside of this endless carnival, and the locals will chase them back. Like they will, I guess that's the point at which things get hostile. It's like, you stay over there. You don't come over here. If you climb a fence, you climb it back until you're back in your side of this park. It's going to be a great place to live indefinitely.
Request?
Sure.
Can the local village be one of those like little model villages that like it's like it's all like kid sized?
Absolutely.
But you can, if you're an adult, you can like curl up like a cat inside one of the houses.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, cool.
It's like a miniature Bluff City.
Yes, totally.
Yeah. LSG says, what happened to the 2 locations thing? That is another location that's just happening. That is also, I think a lot of what we've said is happening on delay in that second park. Except that the concern has definitely gotten involved there maybe quicker, and that place is mostly going to be a prison. The negotiations with the park have completed. And I'm going to say that those negotiations have gone well, in the sense that the top people of the concern are getting what they want, and the Anomaly is getting what it wants. Between the top level people, and then specifically Snave, if you're Barker, I think you get out of this place eventually, maybe, but you're not happy with how this went. Or if you're Trotter, who is one of the people who has been working against the high level concern here, or whatever, like. The agreement is basically, we will put a certain number of prisoners in here every year for you, so that you can continue to grow at a certain rate. And maybe that rate is higher than what would have been negotiated, even by the terrible concern leaders. Then
this is like an extrajudicial prison.
Oh, I mean, the concern is extrajudicial. The concern is already self-appointed.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But that is like either directly enemies of the concern, or whoever has like the concern on speed dial that's like, hey, do you have a place to hold someone?
It's mostly members of the concern, presumably, right? Or enemies of the concern, but I don't think anybody else tends to. Some people have worked with the concern we've seen on screen before, but they are like so in a different sphere of influence.
You don't think there's like an organization elsewhere that's big enough to call like oh, the concern, that's like, we don't know much about it, but we do know that they can disappear someone.
I think what you would get is you would get corrupt members of the concern doing that for people. Do you know what I mean? Whereas I think the people who run the concern think of this as a deal they are making to put people who are dangerous for Bluff City or for other places that the concern is active. Ways to put places to put agents who have gone rogue. I think every angle of the concern is involved in this. We've talked about the concern is like sometimes being at war with itself, and I think everyone involved inside of the concern. Like, not everyone involved, the leaders of every side of the concern at the high level are like, yeah, this is good. This is a neutral prison we can put each other's agents into when it's appropriate. Does that make sense? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's not even so bad in there. People get personal clown attention. It's fine.
Exactly. People get personal clown attention. It's fine.
They get a pet raccoon. They get a personal clown. What's the problem?
Juggler clowns.
Yeah.
Massage clowns.
Yeah.
Get a raccoon, or you'll get a clown that'll pretend to be like a silent movie spy and do like mime stuff where you have to like chase it down. It'll satisfy your professional needs.
I don't like that.
You like Charlie Chaplin? You can get a little tramp.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Carter in the chat says, I cannot wait for concerned agents to menacingly say, send them to the fair. Great euphemism for black site. The fair. Anyway, what the fuck did I draw? What was or nothing. Did I draw that? I did. I drew the 5 of Pentacles, so I can... Was it me? Did I draw the 5 of Pentacles? Yes. Pentacles introduce a character. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to start a project. I am. I'm going to start a one-step project now that negotiations are finished. You can start a one-step project, and it's extract any agent who wants any... No, they wouldn't. Would they do that? Would they extract the agents?
I think they would extract the agents if they wanted to extract.
Yeah, right?
I feel like the agents who are in there already probably know too much in terms of...
That's what I'm thinking.
You're going to send prisoners, like you want prisoners to
Barker's in
be
there.
sent in blind, kind of.
Yeah, Oh, I see what you're saying. You're saying you don't want the prisoners to potentially meet up with Agent Barker or Tinker or Trotter.
Actually, here's a thought. Maybe... Because I see what you're saying, too, in terms of, like, the people who are in there know too much. If they are out, then maybe that information... What if they take the people who are in Park 1 and put them in Park 2 and take whoever's in Park 2 and put them in Park 1?
Yeah, 100%. Yep, that is the new one-step clock.
Also, they definitely don't call them agents. They call them assets, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to write asset extraction /flip. All right. One more turn, I think, maybe. Andy, if you want to draw a card.
I'll go ahead.
Maybe it'll be a wild card that really fucks us up.
The Magician.
See? I don't know what that means. I'm going to scroll up. Let's see.
Kind of clown is what I know.
It's not true.
Someone is discovered actively using the powers of the anomaly for their own ends. Who? How did they discover this power? Problem is, we've kind of answered this question this entire
kind of
session.
Everyone has been doing this.
But also,
it's just that the anomaly corrupts people's ends.
Right. I mean, you go first, Andy. You tell me what's on your mind.
Well, I wonder if, because it's the key word for me here is discovered.
Yeah.
Like someone, they are found out using the powers here.
Mm-hmm.
And part of me wonders if this either causes a sort of rift in the concern, or if it leaks out into the public a little bit that something not the concern obviously, but a government agency is involved with this.
Yeah, but it's is it involved in using a fair as a...
Yeah. It's a little hard to justify that one. I think the one I'm going to go with is that it's just this was kept very close to the chest by higher ups within the within the concern, and then just like people got talking. Like people came back from being in the anomaly. They like were like, oh yeah, that's a prison now. Don't you know about that?
What if this interrupts the asset extraction? Like,
yeah,
there was a white van driving from a Boscov's across the highway to the north side of town where these people will be deposited in Park 2. Also, Park 2, great euphemism for a black site. And then there's like an explosion or another car rams into the thing, and different people show up who do the asset extraction. It's just, I mean, this is. Did we name the group at the end of Bluff City season 1? The new group?
I don't remember.
Okay. Well, whoever they are, they show up and pull out Barker, and like Barker can leak this to other agents at this point, and begin a rift inside of the concern. Between, like you said, the leadership and then like the kind of like day-to-day agents.
Yeah. All right.
I like that.
So, clocks.
Clocks. Well, that's asset extraction. I think,
Was there another one though?
Figure out max capacity of Park 1.
All right.
Which completes.
I don't know
whose was figure out.
That was mine.
Yeah. Did they do it?
Yeah. No.
Oh. It doesn't. It completes that they.
Well, the reason is because they couldn't get enough people. The capacity is really high.
Oh, is the answer is there is no maximum capacity?
Yeah,
because it just grows.
There's no, because the size of the park is determined by the amount of people in the park.
So it's a happy discovery for these terrible people.
Right? Yeah. Wow, we could really just keep doing this. Sometimes their food will disappear out of their stomachs. Sometimes the bed that they got out of the vending machine disappears in the middle of the night. But, they all fit.
When that happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
They all fit. Is that our game?
I don't really have a move to make here.
Yeah.
So, if we want it to be our game, I wouldn't complain about cutting my turn short.
I'm down with that. We could start an infinite long clock called "Continue to use this as a terrible black site prison."
Yeah, pretty much.
Fantastic. Any other final thoughts here? Do you want to talk about any other repercussions? I'm excited now. This is a thing we could return to at some point in the future.
They stop investigating. They're like, we've learned everything we need to know about this.
Yeah,
There's nothing else.
Case closed, right?
Case closed. Yeah.
But we know how it works. We know why it wants people.
Yeah, it works really well. That's how it works.
That's how it works. Right. Put it in the fucking, you have to file this. You put it in the oh yeah, we have a new asset. This is a new asset. The park.
Well, what was my question that you had said? Play to find out what happens is the way that we should answer this.
I don't fucking remember. I'm starving.
Yeah,
my head hurts.
I was just curious whether we answered it, but I don't remember the question.
It was
if we
how
kill
to kill
the
it
worm,
or something.
If you kill the worm, does it fix it from 8? Was there still a worm 80 years ago, or is everything from before? And it's no one's curious about that, or anyone that's curious is dead or stuck.
I mean, I still think that's
funnel cake forever.
I still think it's a play to find out what happens, but that's going to be for a game where we play as the people who go, we have to shut down this terrible concerned black site, and they have to decide if we shut this thing down, what happens to all the people stuck in it, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not promising that we do that anytime soon, but that's a fun game to put out there as a potential thing to return to. That's a fun.
Counting one fun.
One fun. Exactly. Thank you for joining us today for this game of Anomaly. Again, a game by Carter Richmond. You can find this game on itch.io by going to sniperserpent.itch.io/anomaly, or by doing a search on itch.io for Anomaly. What else? Thank you for joining us as always. You can follow me on Twitter at Austin_Walker and the show at friends_table. Support the show at friendsofthetable.cash. As again, a little tease, we will have a cool holiday merch drop sometime in the next few days. If you're listening to this, that's a secret. That's just for you. But yeah, it'll be a fun thing that we were hoping to show off here today. But it like one of those things where it turns out launching merchandise is a whole fucking thing, and so it takes a minute to make that happen. So look forward to that though in the next few days. Everyone else want to introduce Andy? Where can people follow you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Captain Trash, and you can listen to my other show, Emoji Drome, on whatever podcast app you choose.
Janine.
You can find me at Bleating Heart or on YouTube watching the Apple Tater clip of BuzzFeed Unsolved over and over again because it always makes me laugh.
It's so funny.
I don't know what this is.
Oh, do you not?
No, I
I
didn't understand earlier when someone said Apple Tater either.
Apple Tater.
So
It is funny.
Just give me the link. We're doing it. Here.
It's impatient. You can
That's
open
a
up.
I'm gonna count
spaghetti
you all.
ghost. That doesn't say Apple Tater.
I'm going to count everybody in. Get ready to watch.
Okay. All right. And
Get
then I'll say
loaded.
what my YouTube is.
Yeah, go ahead. Ready? Are you ready to watch this?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, play.
Anybody here that was here before this house was built?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've seen this.
Spaghetti? Tell us your name.
Apple Tater.
What?
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Thank you. Thank you, BuzzFeed. What's it called? BuzzFeed?
BuzzFeed
Reports? Unsolved.
So funny.
Not reports.
But it's a BuzzFeed thing? That's not like Ghost Hunters?
It's
They
their
do
ghost
ghost
They're
and
ghost.
also true crime. They alternate. It's a thing.
Okay. Keith, where can people find you and your work?
You can find me on Twitter at Keith J. Carberry, and you can find the Let's Plays that I do at youtube.com/runbutton. Also, Run Button Podcast it's on YouTube also, but it's also in, all the different podcast stuff.
Yeah, perfect. Good. People are saying clown water in the chat presumably in the same exact affect as Apple Tater. Clown water. What is your name? Clown water. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for us. I hope everyone has a great holiday weekend. If you're in the States, if you're not, I hope you have a good weekend anyway. And also, if you're in the States and you are working working retail, working food service, any sort of service, working anything, please, I hope have a good, safe weekend. If you're out shopping or eating or anything, be really kind to everyone during this holiday season. I know it can get frustrating, but as someone who's been on the other side of that shit, it is the worst. It is the worst. It is exhausting. People are mean all the time. Like, tip extra well. Like, please, I'm begging you to be kind to people throughout the season because it's so exhausting. And also, holidays are exhausting and stressful already. So just an added
Be the
layer
easy
of
spot in someone's day. That's the way I
Yes.
tend to look at it. Like, I want to be I don't want to be special name. I just want to be an easy thing that they just breeze past and just no complication. Just
That's it.
That's
Exactly.
all.
For real. All right, everybody. That's going to do it for us. Thank you again for joining us. We'll be back hopefully soon we really want to finish up that Stew Pot game. So hopefully we'll be able to do that shortly. And if not, then sorry. No, we are going to try to. We are going to try to. I mean, listen. Sometimes life
That's
happens.
the Run Button. What is that? Sorry, that's something that I hear on Run Button a lot. Is this Run Button all of a sudden?
It's Run Button. We're running it like Run Button now. We were going to do Stew Pot today, but there was a scheduling conflict. So do know that it's a thing we do want to just knock out pretty quick. So look forward to that. All right, have a good one, everybody. I'm going to go write the description for today's Friend at the Table episode. So bye.
Bye.
Bye.